Hi, and welcome back to Homebound Canada. I know it's been a while. I almost took a year break from creating videos and content on here because I got really busy with building a house, and home ownership can be really tough. So I thought this is like a best way to segue into my new topic, or a thing that I want to talk about is what did I learn into my first year of home ownership. So without any further ado, let's just get started. I'm gonna talk about good and the bad things that I learned, like lessons learned and a few realizations I had along the way, and good things and not so good things, and really bad things about home ownership. So let's get started. Now, I'm not a person who likes to talk about negative things to start with, but I think this is the most crucial thing that I learned as a house owner into my first year of home ownership, that it is really tough. You have that rosy picture that when you're in your late 20s or early 30s, the conventional age of owning a home, that you'll eventually own a home and then you'll decorate it and then you'll have your own home and your own space. But no one talks about the headache, the stress, and the frustration that comes with it. So yes, it's an important milestone in your life that you take. Owning a home, buying a home is obviously great. Not, I mean, I'm not diminishing any of that feeling and emotion that people have, but you have to know that it comes with a lot of things, and it's really tough. I think it's tough, especially because once you own a home, like you really have that sense of ownership, and then it's your baby. So you really want to make sure everything's perfect, you're doing everything right. And then the thing is that if you're not renting, everything is on you. Whatever breaks, whatever is going wrong, if there's any leakages, if there's anything that is odd in the house, everything that goes wrong, even the paint chipping a little bit stresses you out, because it's on you, it's your own expense. Your house looks bad, you're not a tenant anymore, no owner is going to come and fix your issues, so it's all you. So I think that is where it gets tough. Number two, let's talk about a positive thing. Like I said, homeownership is tough, but once you're a homeowner, you realize that now it's really your home. I think it takes a few months to let that sink in, because there's so much of stress of home ownership and so many things are so new to you, so many things to care about. But once you realize that that mortgage is actually going into some kind of asset building of your own, I think that's a very different kind of satisfaction that you have in life. So I feel very grateful and lucky, and blessed by the universe that I could own a home, that too very soon, after like immigrating to Canada, very soon into my immigration years, I could actually have the privilege and blessings to own a home. And here, when I am paying my mortgage, I think it's going into my own asset building. And I think that's a different kind of satisfaction, which you can only feel once you own your own home and start paying your mortgage. And actually, it hits you that, oh my God, I have invested 1 year into my own asset building. So this is a negative, stressful, but also a funny part that I'd like to talk about, which I'm facing currently, because it's winter, and you know, never in my life I thought that this would be such an issue in my life, but it is that rats infest your house during the winter. And I'm sure I must have faced rat issue, mice being in the house issue when I was a child, or even when I was like as an adult living in other houses where I was renting or something like that. But when you have to deal with mice as a homeowner, you really have to deal with it. Like you have to like go set up traps and like, do certain things, block the areas where they might be coming from, and that is so stressful. And if I was just living as a tenant, I could have just easily called my owner and asked him to deal with it, because I was asking my coworker how she dealt with her mice and rats issue. And then she did let me know that she just informed her owner about it and he took care of it. Her owner even paid for it to be taken care of. But right now, like, I think there's a mouse in my attic. It's eating off It has kind of infested my kitchen and everything, the surrounding areas. So I think that is another trouble that I'm dealing with. And as a homeowner, unfortunately, you have to take care of it yourself. And it's just not the rats. Sometimes it's the raccoons. Sometimes it's the smelly thing. I forgot its name. Skunk that comes to your house. The skunk has sprayed my dog several times. So to deal with that, to deal with the smell and everything, it's really your own. And back home in India, it was easy to deal with because you could easily hire people to deal with these things. Thanks to cheap labor back there, but here it's not cheap at all. So it becomes really stressful. I could not imagine that a rat could stress me out so much. Coming to a positive thing about home ownership is that it's completely your own and you can decorate it um, as per your own wish or as per your own liking or style. When you're living in a rented apartment, you often have to take permissions before painting it, or like, nailing certain things, or like hooking up certain things to the wall, um, and so on and so forth. But like in your own house, you can do whatever you want. You can have your own decorations hanging. You can paint the wall in your color of choice, and then you can just make it your own. So that is also another kind of dream come true for me, where I used to think as a teenager or as a young adult that whenever I have my home, my room would be purple, or like some kind of crazy color. And that's exactly what I did. One part of my wall is lavender in color and I love it. So I think these little things kind of make you happy, that how you can make your own build your own space and make your home yours by adding a touch of your style and the touch of your color, or your decor. So I think that's a really cool thing. Okay, the next not very pleasant thing about home ownership, especially if you're living in Canada, in a cold country where it snows, and your home is not a condo, it's a townhouse or an individual house or a bungalow or whatever. A lot of the maintenance is the homeowner's responsibility. Even during summer, taking care of your front lawn or your backyard, cutting the grass, and like keeping it neat and tidy is your responsibility for sure. But that's during the summer, and it is not that bad because like you can always have fun in the sun, take a little break, drink a little beer, and like do your own thing. And it's also summer, so when it gets hot, you can always go in and out. But what gives me actual pain and stresses me out when it starts snowing is the shoveling that I have to do. No amount of stress matches to shoveling stress. As a homeowner, you really have to go out and shovel the snow, and especially where people are supposed to walk, the pedestrian area, your driveway, because your car cannot leave if the snow is beyond a certain centimeter. So shoveling has to be like, you have to be on top of shoveling the snow every winter. And for people who are in Canada, and especially in areas like Ontario or even colder areas, they absolutely know the pain of snow and winter. So I think when you're a homeowner, you really cannot let go the snow. You really have to, as soon as it snows, you really have to like bundle up, pick up your shovel, and just go and start shoveling the snow as much as you can. Talking about another positive thing about this home ownership is actually very personal to me, and I'm sure it's very personal to lots of other people as well, especially who are of my age. I always wanted to own a home for my parents. Like for more than me, I always wanted them to like have their own space, because my parents have always been traveling, and they've not really stationed themselves in one particular country or location. My mom always wanted to like have a place of her own. The feeling of me being able to do that for them is a different kind of feeling altogether. And then I'm just like, I know they're not here yet, but I'm just waiting for them to be here so that, they can live in this house that I bought. And it's my very first home. I bought it with my own money. Right now, it's just through photos and videos, but hoping to see them here soon. And then yeah, we can make the house even better and brighter. Lots of fun thing. I'd like to point out the obvious again. There are lots of bills to be paid. And back home in India, I don't think I've ever paid any bill apart from electricity, and I've always lived in a rented apartment or with my parents or my family. So I don't remember taking care of these many bills. And it really gets to you sometimes because sometimes you feel like, okay, I've paid all the bills and this is how much I have left as savings. But no, then you remember, oh, yeah, I haven't paid the gas bill yet. And then suddenly your insurance money gets cut off from your checking account, and you're like, oh, yeah, there are so many things like you have to pay for your home insurance, and then there's gas bill, there's electricity and water. We also have a rented water heater, so there goes that. And we've even taken like insurance for plumbing and electricity work, so some money goes there as well. And then sometimes some things break in the house, like I mentioned earlier, so sometimes you have to shell out some extra money even if you don't have it. The unexpected bills, you really it took me almost like 7 to 8 months to finally get used to it and build my budget around it. So I think that's another tough thing that comes with home ownership. I think for now, these are the few of my learnings that I've had in the past year, as and when I became a homeowner and I went through things as a homeowner. As you can see from whatever I discussed earlier in the video, everything is not rosy, but everything is not so bad as well. Like it's a mix of, like everything in life, it's a mix of good and bad things. There are ups and downs, but in the end, I would like to very be unmodest and say that I am very proud of myself for doing what I've done in the last 1 year of taking care of this house. It's a huge house, it's a huge responsibility. So I'm very proud of myself of what I have become and how much responsible I have become because of home ownership. Let's take that into a positive, that I have become a much more responsible person after I started owning a home. And then all the learnings that comes with home ownership, it has been an absolute massive lesson in my life. And the stress is there, the maintenance is there, the bills are there, but this satisfaction of, like I mentioned, being a homeowner in an expensive province like Ontario is there. And then there comes building your own asset, and then obviously last but not the least, making your parents super proud. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you like the content and if it's relatable or resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is Sneha from Homebound Canada. See you next time.